Jessica, why don't you tell me about Polly?
Said the man in the suit that was sitting across from her. He clicked his pen to the ready and turned his notepad to the blank page. Jessica's blue eyes shimmered in the light of the sterile fluorescent bulbs overhead.
Well,
she started, taking a bite of one of the cookies provided to her.
Dad works very hard for our family, but because of his job, we move a lot. I have trouble making friends at school. I gave up trying a while ago because it was only a matter of time before we moved again and I left them behind. I was so lonely that I would cry myself to sleep. I didn't know Daddy noticed that or even cared. I was super excited when I got home from school one day to find that Daddy had a new pet waiting for me, a new best friend. He secretly took off work and spent the whole day getting my room all set up with a pretty weight cage, food and water dishes, and lots of toys. I heard her squawking as soon as I walked in the door. I dropped everything and ran into my room. She was pacing back and forth across the cage real fast. But the first thing I noticed were her bright colors, mostly pink with spots of blue, yellow, and red. I think I scared her when I squealed out of joy because she squawked really loud again and fluttered around her cage. Daddy told me that it would take a little while for her to settle into her new home and just to be patient. He said if I loved her and took great care of her, that we would have a lot of fun together.
She spilled out all of that in one long, excited breath. The man in the suit scribbled furiously in his own shorthand on the paper.
What should I name her? I asked Daddy.
Jessica said, then took a refreshing sip from a tall glass of milk.
I was so excited that I was bouncing up and down, but then Daddy told me her name was Polly.
Go on.
I was bummed out that I didn't get to pick her name, but I felt that one was perfect,
she said. Something hiding underneath her tone said that she wasn't as okay with that as she let on.
Once she warms up to you, Daddy told me, putting his arm around my shoulder, you can even teach her to talk.
To talk?
The suited man repeated for clarification. Jessica nodded, then continued.
Hi, Polly, I said like 5 times in a row. She didn't say anything back to me, but I knew I just had to be patient. Listen, honey, Daddy sat me down on the bed next to him, then waved his finger at Polly. Those don't come cheap, so I need to know that you're going to be very careful. She's going to rely on you for everything. This is a big responsibility.
Jessica was fidgeting hard by this point, and the suited man did his best to comfort her with a smile.
What happened next?
He asked.
I nodded so fast that I thought my neck was going to snap. Yes, I nearly shouted and gave Daddy a huge bear hug.
The suited man flipped to another page.
So, Polly was your...
My pet silly.
Jessica giggled.
You're funny.
The suited man withdrew a single piece of paper that was once in a sketchbook. He laid it on the table in front of Jessica.
This picture you drew of her, in art class, is why I'm here. Do you understand that?
Isn't she pretty?
Jessica stated, admiring her work.
Is Daddy picking me up soon?
You'll be able to leave soon, yes. Just a couple more questions.
The suited man replied.
Jessica.
He started.
You know how much your father loves you, and would miss you, terribly, if you were gone, right?
Definitely. That would break his heart.
So, you knew that Polly's parents would miss her too, right?
The suited man let the pen drop from his hand and a balled, tight fist. He was trying his best to not frighten young Jessica. Emphasizing his next words, he slowly pounded on the table.
Where has your father taken her?
Jessica wasn't alarmed or frightened by this outburst at all. She finished her milk, then pulled herself to a more comfortable position in the chair and met his stare with a powerful one of her own.
Holly is my best friend, and Daddy says you can't have her.